Hey, how's it going, everybody? So we are going to be checking out this article from restart.run.com. It states that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director Naoki Hamaguchi talks Switch 2 port, lessons learned, and Chadley. So we're not going to go through the whole article. We're only going to be talking through the lessons learned and the Chadley part, as I thought that was like the most intriguing to me. I will provide the link to this article, so check it out. But yeah, let's get started. Restart.run. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from Rebirth? How has it impacted the way you think about game design? Hamaguchi. The most important lesson we gained from Rebirth was the clear affirmation that even without a multi-title project, simply recycling the previous game's design isn't enough to sustain player excitement for the next installment. This remake series has never been about repeating the same experience. Remake focused on a story-driven experience, while Rebirth made a major shift toward an open-world design that utilizes the world map. In the final installment of the trilogy, the game evolves even further, expanding its scale through the Highwind. By changing and evolving the core experience with each title, we feel we've been able to maintain the interest and excitement of a large number of game fans, reassuring players that the same experience can be enjoyed and avoiding the same repetitive game design are two different things. I feel that trust can only be built through the acclamation of approaching each title with sincerity and asking ourselves, what elements need to evolve? I also believe that the commitment to steadily building that trust one at a time will encourage people to look forward to future projects, even beyond this remake series. Something that I definitely have to agree is that the progression of the remake series from remake to rebirth was, in my opinion, a pretty huge leap as far as gameplay goes. Remake did focus a lot on story and kind of telling a story, and it felt very cinematic, whereas Rebirth, you got to do a lot more with the battle, the combat, your materia, and even the equipment and team comp that you had that Remake didn't really allow you to do. And I don't know if it's because just we didn't have enough party members or what, but Rebirth definitely capitalized on the gameplay aspect, and I appreciate that Hamaguchi and his team took careful notes going from Remake to Rebirth and saying where can we add more and where can we kind of like take away or lessen some. Now with part 3 and the Highwind, I'm just hoping that they take what they've done and further expand it into a more concrete and better open world game. That's what I'm hoping they're gonna do. Rebirth kind of introduced the open world concept with the different types of battle styles and team comps, and I hope that part 3 takes that and just like ramps it up, puts it on another level. I'm talking we can explore the whole world of Final Fantasy VII, whether we're traveling through the Highwind or we're traversing through chocobos or whatever. I want to be able to like experience it kind of like the OG, but even more fleshed out, if that makes sense. And I have faith in the development team because after playing Remake and Rebirth kind of simultaneously side by side, you kind of feel the difference, you notice the change, and it's a change for the better in my opinion. I wasn't one of the people that played through Rebirth trying to get the trophies or doing a lot of the like mini games. I strictly focused on the story. A lot of the like boss battles were fun, so I just kept doing those and collecting materia, collecting summonings. So I hope there's a lot more of that, just kind of like telling the story and telling the lore of the world through the world rather than through exposition or too many like cutscenes in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see how they fit that into part 3. I'm super excited. Restart.run. A few years ago, we got dinner when you were visiting New York City and you asked about my favorite Final Fantasy VII character. I told you it was Chadley and I mentioned you should make him playable in part 3. I'm just checking in on how that's been coming along. Hamaguchi. We understand that many fans are fond of Chadley, however whether he's become a playable character is something we're unable to comment on at this time. That said, Chadley will continue to play an important role even in the final installment of the trilogy. His strong curiosity and tendency to talk a bit too much, inherent traits that he's aware of and somewhat self-conscious about, will be further explored in the third game too. It'd make me happy if players could warmly follow how Chadley becomes involved in the story and what role he takes in supporting it. So it's interesting that Chadley was mentioned here because he, in my opinion, is an annoying character. I didn't like him. I think he's just like super annoying, or maybe I didn't like the fact that you were getting summons through him, this like weird like android boy, when in the original game you can just go out and find the summonings, and it felt a lot more spiritual, a lot more natural. But that's besides the point. It would be really cool to see Chadley as a playable character. I can totally see him using his like mech arms or doing all these crazy, like he's an android, right? So all these crazy things. But more than that, it would be interesting to see them expand the roster of playable characters in part 3 so that you can kind of go through the game and do playthroughs with different teams of characters. I would really enjoy that. I think that would be awesome. We could have Zach, we could have Chadley. You know, there's already Vincent and Sid coming. Maybe even throw in some of the characters from Advent Children or like the extended universe from like Dirge of Cerberus. I would love to play through the game with like Weiss and his like dual swords or whatever. But yeah, it's just, I feel like they have a lot of potential to expand the game and do a lot of cool things, and like now is the chance to really ham it up and give it to us, because this is it. This is the finality of the game. And as far as Chadley's involvement in the story, I would love to see how his role expands in part 3 and what his like true purpose is, so to speak. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with the game. I really enjoyed this interview. I really like the topics that were discussed. I'm going to add the link to this interview down in the comments below, so please check that out if you're interested. Let me know what you guys think about this interview. By the way, if you want me to do more videos like this, please let me know. It really helps the channel, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.